Good evening, Professor Gerald. My name is Carley Daniel. I am doing this video for PS 403, and the title and topic of my video is Human Trafficking in the United States and around the world. I will be talking about human trafficking and how it affects us not only in America, but the statistics from around the world as well. According to the United States Department of State website archives, they say that human trafficking is prevalent in every single country in the world. Not only is that fact disheartening and discouraging, honestly, there's no excuse for how bad of a problem human trafficking has become. Another quote from the United States Department of State website that I found that spoke to me said, fundamentally, human trafficking deprives people of their basic human rights and freedoms. In the United States, we have the Declaration of Independence, which in it states that all people are given certain rights that are endowed by their Creator, and they are inevitable, and those rights are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, all three of which are taken away by human trafficking for those victims. Human trafficking not only impacts the United States and the world at a larger level, the national level, but it also impacts communities at the local level as well. The statistics for human trafficking in the United States and around the world are absolutely heartbreaking. According to Trafficking in America Task Force, forced labor of any kind in the private economy generates $150 billion a year. $99 billion come from commercial sexual exploitation worldwide. So 99 billion of the $150 billion comes from commercial sexual exploitation. Estimates suggest that internationally, only about 0.4% of survivors of human trafficking cases are identified every year. That means the vast majority of human trafficking victims and survivors go undetected. According to an article from the High Court, it says that 25 million people across the globe are denied their fundamental right to freedom. 30% of global human trafficking victims are children. And women also make up 49% of all victims of global human trafficking. In the United States, the maximum amount of time a convicted human trafficker can spend in jail for trafficking an adult victim is 20 years in prison. That by itself is despicable and needs to be looked at and changed. For a child, the amount of time a trafficker can spend in jail for, if convicted of trafficking a child, is a life sentence without the possibility of parole. Human traffickers also face fines of up to $1.5 million. I understand that that is a lot of money, but for the pain and the suffering and the loss of freedom and normalcy that these victims of human trafficking face, $1.5 million is not enough to take back what they have lost. Not only does human trafficking strip victims of their inevitable rights that were endowed by their creator, it also strips them of any sense of safety or security that they could have ever had. And if they get it back at all, it will take years of relearning and retrying and physically committing every single day to get those things back that were taken from them. Human trafficking, again, is something that is happening in every single country, every single state, every single place on every continent in the world. And it will take all of us, regular citizens, law enforcement agencies at the local level and the national level and the international level. It will take organizations, public and private organizations that have dedicated their lives and their time to helping human trafficking victims. Something that needs to be done at the local level that can then be built up to the national level and the international level is educating the public on what to look for when it comes to human trafficking victims and human trafficking operations. There are certain signs that are always there that if the average citizen knew about, they would be able to help law enforcement, those different organizations that have dedicated everything to being able to help these victims. If it was taught to the public, we would become an asset, not only in the United States, but all over the world. We could become an asset and help end the awful industry that is human trafficking. I say all that to say this. These victims of human trafficking deserve to have their rights given back to them, and they deserve to never have them taken away in the first place. educate the public to be able to help with human trafficking victims. And hopefully, one day soon, we will be able to eradicate the problem altogether. Thank you.